Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Stretford Sessions, the United podcast that we bring you each and every week on the upper tier. Head over there, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Joining me tonight, or today, I should say, for an early morning preview, Darren coming live from Dublin Port. How are we, Darren?
I'm all right, Chief. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all. A little bit tired. I'm not used to be podcasting at 7 o'clock in the morning, but sure,
No.
This is what we do for these viewers. What's the
This
atmosphere
is what we do
like
for
down
our
there?
fans and our subscribers, Niall.
That's it. What's the atmosphere like down there at the moment?
Yeah, like there's quite a few coaches down here, I have to say. There's probably 6 or 8 on the way over to the game. And today is also the start of the Cheltenham Festival, so looks to be a few race goers here as well. So it's busy down here, you know.
Awesome. Well, this is your Man United versus Atletico preview. It's the second leg in a massive tie. And as you said to me the other day, you're going to go over and lap it up and enjoy this because potentially, you know, if you were to potentially lose this one, and who knows when you'd be back in the Champions League again. So you're going to enjoy every minute of it.
So likely it's going to be next year, isn't it?
I don't know. We'll see. Depends what we do on Wednesday against Arsenal. We could do you a huge favour, you know. Let's see what happens. But I suppose the preview, I said, Man United, I mean, they're coming off the back of a very good win against Arsenal, I think. I thought they badly needed it. They had to wait a week to correct the misgivings, let's say, of the Manchester derby. So that was a huge boost to their top 4 race, but also it gave them a huge amount of confidence going into this game. Safe to say, in the first leg, you weren't exactly at your best, but Elanga dug it out in the 80th minute and got that equaliser, which was massive, and a massive shot across the bow to Atletico as well, who were in control of the game for large parts and created a lot of chances. What you thinking going in?
Yeah, like I felt like they had a lot of the ball in the first leg, but they didn't, like De Gea wasn't overly worked, you know. We didn't come out going, geez, Dave was unbelievable tonight. You know, so yeah, they definitely did control the game, as you know a lot of home teams do in these Champions League ties and stuff like that. So that's what I'm expecting tonight. I'm expecting United to go out there and kind of put a marker down and like, listen, this is OT, this is Old Trafford, this is our place, and you know we're gonna bring it to you guys for the next 90 minutes and really set the tempo and set the tone. You know, Champions League nights are great over here in Old Trafford, I have to say, really enjoyable, and the atmosphere, like it's going to be palpable, obviously with Chewy coming back as well. That's really going to rile the United fans up, and it's really going to get them up for the night, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, all right. And I kind of made the comment as well. I thought that maybe Everett might be in the studio as well covering the game, because, you know, this is how they set these things up with Everett.
And I mean, there's so many, there could be 20 or 30 broadcasters there, so it's highly likely he will be part of a team somewhere, you know?
Absolutely. Current form at the moment, I mean, yous are showing better form at the moment in the competition. 3 wins and 3 draws in your last 6. And if you look at Atletico are 2 wins, a draw, and 3 losses. So they've been very disappointing this year on the back of winning La Liga last year. They flattered to deceive. They're kind of hovering in around in terms of league position, very similar to yourselves. They're kind of in a top 4 race, looking more down than they are looking up and stuff like that. What have you made of Atletico this season?
Yeah, I suppose you know, they've definitely not been the Atletico we've seen over previous years. But to be honest with you, I kind of feel like time is catching up with them a little bit, because a lot of these guys have been there quite a while, you know, and not even that they've necessarily been there a long time. They're guys that have a lot of experience, but maybe don't have the legs as much as they used to. And I think when you've got a Diego Simeone team, he relies on those legs, doesn't he, to do that work and stuff like that. Now they were without Koke in the first leg. He's back for tonight apparently. He'll obviously bring a lot of work rate to that engine room. But like, other than work rate, like I don't think he brings, you know, an awful lot in terms of goal threat and stuff like that. Of course, now roll on the fucking Koke goal later on, but you know. Good man, Darren. But like, I think, you know, they're good in the wide positions. Just think through the middle. There's a little bit of a soft spine through the middle, you know, that maybe you could get at.
Yeah, I think the difficulty for Atletico this season as well is, I don't think they've ever had a full team available, because I think every game that I've previewed this season, there's kind of been a litany of either suspensions or injuries or stuff like that, and it's not
Now it
dissimilar.
is starting to sound like a Diego Simeone team with suspensions all over the town.
Yeah, and it's not dissimilar tonight to today either, because they've a whole bunch of players missing. But if you go into team news, let's start with team news. Obviously, we know Mason Greenwood is suspended by the club at the moment, so he's out. But Bruno Fernandes, yeah, Mason. But Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay, they could all come back in here. I think Bruno will probably be vital to get in around these guys and have that bit of an kicking match in there at the moment, and probably McTominay as well. Pogba stay in, or does he move out?
I hope he stays out, if I'm honest. Again, I think it's got to be impact all the way with Pogba. I'd like to see Scott and Fred and Bruno in the midfield. With obviously some wide players then, Sancho and Alanga, and possibly Ronaldo. I'd keep Pogba for off the bench. I'd keep Cavani for off the bench. And I'd keep the likes of Lingard and Rashford for off the bench. And if you needed a defensive change as well, then, But I wouldn't go in with Pogba if you're looking to set tempo, because at times we know the work rate's just not there. And I think that filters around to the team. I think if you go in with Scott at 6 and with, Fred and Bruno at 8, you're going to get a much better press, which is going to create a much better atmosphere around the stadium, because the fans are going to see the team pressing. They're going to get behind the press. The players are going to then start to, they're going to start to feed off that atmosphere, aren't they? And they're going to find it much easier to keep that press going on the high of the fans, Yeah,
absolutely. Diogo Dalot obviously keeps his place, I would imagine, yeah?
Yeah, I hope so. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been poor in the last few weeks when he played. Yeah. I actually can't believe he's played so often, but Dalot starts for me. And Tellez, who I think has been excellent, if I'm honest. I kind of hope Tellez stays as well. I think he's been very good. I think the quality of ball he brings is phenomenal, as we've seen at the weekend for Ronaldo's winner. Another ring swinger. Thanks, Ben Hogan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd go with that. Like, I'd love to see Varane and Lindelof. I would absolutely love to see it. I think it'd be I think it would set the tone and it would set the atmosphere. I think the fans would feed off the fact there was no Harry Maguire in the team. And that's not a nice thing to say when you're talking about, United captain, but I think if we go in with Harry tonight, the way he's been playing, and obviously with the goal of the weekend and stuff like that, kind of feel like you're on the back foot a bit, don't you?
Yeah, I think you do. I think, in fairness though to him at the weekend, he was very unlucky with that at the weekend, and we've kind of mentioned at the moment that I know you have to play well and you have to perform, especially in these games. These are huge games with huge amount of pressure here, because obviously if you feel that you're not going to make top 4, this is last chance saloon basically for a trophy, or potentially a way back into the competition next season.
Absolutely.
But I do think at the weekend it was one of those ones he was very unlucky. You're going to throw your leg out to try and block, and it just so happened that it ended up in the back of the net, but that's just it. Let's take some team news in from Atletico. Obviously, Yannick Carrasco will miss through suspension. Then Kounhe, Vass, Versalco, I think Versalco, Thomas Lamar, Hermoso, Kondogbia are all injured or out through suspension.
Kondogbia is in the squad.
Oh, he's in the squad, is he?
Yeah, and so is Hermoso.
Okay.
But the rest of the boys are all out. Because I got it on the United app last night when I was checking the United squad. They gave you the Atletico one. But there was doubts over the boys. They were carrying knocks, but they are fit to travel anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kondogbia, who controlled that midfield in the first leg, vital that we get at him early in the game if he does play, especially if he's carrying any sort of a knock and stuff,
Yeah, he certainly was one that stood out in the first leg.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jose Jimenez is also likely to miss out as well. He came off injured against Cadiz at the weekend, and I mean that was a very laboured performance for them against Cadiz. They ended up running out winners 2-1. But when you see that they're 12 points behind Real Madrid in the league and stuff like that, and they're in a top 4 battle with Betis and Sociedad, so like it was a big win for them there at the weekend. Simeone,
if Jimenez misses, that's as big as that's a big plus for us. He's their best centre back by a country mile. And if he misses out, that's great news for us, I have to say.
Yeah, what you're thinking in terms of Simeone's decision to make in the forward line? I think in the forward line is where he has his options. I mean, Correa's there, João Felix is there, Luis Suarez is there. Griezmann is there. I think when Griezmann came on, they certainly did up the level in the first leg, and he was so unlucky underneath the bar with that late opportunity that I think he put over a put wide. I wasn't too sure, but it looked like it was easier to finish it than it was to miss it.
He hit the bar, didn't he?
Yeah, he hit the crossbar, didn't he? Yeah. What you're thinking up front? Is this one where you put Suarez in?
I wouldn't think so. I think obviously the boy, Felix, is in pretty good form at the minute. His goal return recently is as good as it's ever been for Atletico. So I'd imagine he'd play. And I think if you play the boy Felix, you probably play Correa in beside him. Because I think he brings you that energy and that kind of, he's like a little Carlos Tevez kind of a character, isn't he? He's that little kind of a pit bull terrier that's just napping at your heels all day and you're like, get away me, kid, will you? But I think he'd make it very awkward for United. And obviously, if United have a lot of the play tonight, Atletico are going to have to do a little bit of their work on the bounce, and we know you've got to have pace in your team for that. Felix doesn't necessarily have natural pace, and I think again Griezmann's relatively slow. I think he'll keep Griezmann for impact again, bring him off the bench. I think he's a massive goal threat as well, and probably something similar with Suarez. I'll wait and see what score it is and how late in the game we need this guy.
Yeah, I just know with Simeone, he loves that kind of shithousery, doesn't it? And he knows the history that's there, so it wouldn't be unlike him to sort of ratchet it up a bit. Looking at possible starting lineups with United: De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Maguire's in there, Shaw, Fred, McTominay, Sancho, Fernandes, Pogba, and Ronaldo. I know your views on that. You'd have changes there. I mean, you'd obviously have Telles in for Shaw. I would imagine you'd have Lindelof in for Maguire.
Yeah.
And Pogba. Who would you put in instead of Pogba?
You don't have a Langit in there, do you?
No, so it'll be a Langit.
I'd have a Langit in ahead of Pogba, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so then for Atletico, it's Oblak, Savage, Felipe, Renildo, Llorente, De Paul, Koke, Herrera, Lodi, Felix, and Correa. Strong enough lineup, but again, as you said, weakened. I mean, if Jimenez isn't available, if Kondogbia doesn't go in there. I mean, these were big players for them in the first leg. So it'll be interesting to see. In terms of the betting, United are nearly even money, 23-20. The draws just over 2-1, and Atletico are 5-2. So I suppose the betting kind of reflects the mood. You would expect United to get through this, especially with their experience and stuff like that of these moments and these sort of matches and stuff like that. Plus the crowd over there should be right behind them in this. The crowd more than anything should recognise the fact that it's last chance saloon for a trophy and also could potentially to be back in the tournament, regardless of whether you think they could go on and win it or not. If you're in it, you have a chance to win it pending the draw. What's your prediction for the night? What are you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for a victory, but I think it could be a long night if I'm honest. I wouldn't be surprised to see extra time at all.
Okay.
Because obviously it's 1-1 from the first leg.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me to see extra time and possibly even penalties.
And you're looking at what, another 1-1?
Yeah.
And then into extra time and penalties.
Yeah.
What's your feeling if it goes to penalties? Hasn't been a happy hunting ground for United.
It hasn't at all, but I think that's something the lads would like to remedy. I really do. I think it's something you'd see them not relish, but certainly take on the mantle of it and stuff like that. And, I think there's a few guys there who've missed penalties recently that'd like an opportunity to have another go.
Yeah, I went for United 2-1, just with the home advantage and the crowd and stuff like that. And as you said, those special nights there for Champions League and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think there's a number of players tonight that may step up. We've seen Ronaldo get his hat-trick at the weekend. And I think a number of players probably need to step up now and kind of match that kind of ambition and stuff like that, So I think you could see a big game. Fernandes, obviously, if he comes back in, he missed the game at the weekend.
He's just going to have a visit from the customs officers here.
Okay.
Bear with us momentarily. Was two ladies in high-vis jackets at the car in front of us.
No problem.
So I may be asked to get out and open the boot and stuff, so we might have to.
Yeah, well, that's no problem. We're just about done anyway with the preview. Well, listen, have a safe trip over, of course, and hit us up when you get over there, of course. We'll talk to you later on this evening. No doubt.
Morning. How are we? just in the middle of doing a podcast. Say good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm doing that.
Go on, I'll hit you up later.
Go on, talk to you later. Enjoy the trip,
Bye, bye,
mate. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.